Okay, so this is a Mac Mini M4 computer. And this is kind of what the size of a current supercomputer or state-of-the-art computer looks like. It's very compact. It's 5 by 5, 5 inches by 5 inches, and it weighs 1.5 pounds. But don't let the size deceive you. There's a lot going on inside this small computer. You can do a lot, and this is a powerful computer. It's nothing but sheer power in performance. You will not be disappointed when you get this computer. Guys, they have 2 ports in the front, 2 USB-C ports in the front, 3.5mm jack in the front. Also in the back, it has 3 USB-C ports, an RJ45 jack, HDMI, and has a power source. Now I'll get into the triple monitor setups that you can do on here. I'll get into the RAM. I'll get into the bandwidth memory. I'll get into how this thing plays games. It can do a lot. I'll get into the monitors, how you can put 4K monitors, 8K monitors on here, 6K monitors. We'll get into all that because there's a lot going on inside of this small compact device. And it's only $549. Again, $549. That is an absolute steal for what you're getting, guys. All right, so I have a lot to cover. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. My name is Mark Franks. Let's do it. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about the aesthetics. So this is a very premium looking device. Now I'm coming from an M1 straight to the M4, and my M1 is pretty big. This is gonna be half the size of the M1. This is really good. It has a aluminum enclosure on it, guys, and it's just a very well-made device. So good job, Apple. Well made. All right, now let's talk about the USB-C ports here, guys. All right, so this one has 2 USB-C ports in the front. Now that's already the same as my Mac Mini M1. It had 2 USB-C ports in the back. So this has 2 USB-C ports in the front, and it has 3 USB-C ports in the back. So now these USB-C ports in the front is going to be USB 3, and it's going to be Thunderbolt 3, which is going to be a data rate speeds of 10 gigabytes per second. So that's moving pretty fast. Now also in the front, you have a 3.5mm jack, so you can just plug your speakers or your headphones into this. I plug my Edifier speakers into this. Now the native music or native volume on this, the native speakers, they're actually pretty good. Now coming from the M1, it wasn't as good, but these are actually pretty good. Now I wouldn't use the native speakers over an external speakers. You know, the external speakers will always sound better. So I just recommend you get some good external speakers and plug into here, and you guys are good to go. Now let's check out the back, and this is where things get pretty fun. All right, so we have 3 USB-C ports in the back. It's going to be USB 4, and it's going to be Thunderbolt 4. All right, in the front it's Thunderbolt 3. In the back's Thunderbolt 4, and that's going to be together USB 4 and Thunderbolt 4 are going to be up to 40 gigabytes per second data rate speed. Now that is moving, guys. You can put multiple devices on that. You can put an external GPU on that, guys. You can really move with that. Now next you have the HDMI, and up to the HDMI you can go up to 8K, up to 60 hertz. And then you have the RJ45 jack. Now this particular one is going to be up to 1 gigabytes per second as far as the speed, but it can go up to 10 gigabytes per second. Now I'm not sure who is using 10 gigabytes per second speed. I mean, I don't think anybody's going to be using that speed for at least the next 3 years, guys. So it can go up to 10 gigabytes per second. It also has the Wi-Fi 6E that can also go up to 10 gigabytes per second download speed, a data rate speed. That is fast, guys. That is extremely fast. All right, now next, let's talk about the monitors that you can hook up to this. So here's where things get pretty interesting. You know, I have dual monitor setup, but on here you can do a triple monitor setup. Now you can do a triple monitor setup with the M3, but I went straight from the M1 straight to the M4. All right, so now the triple monitor setup, and I'm happy that you can do triple monitor setups now. You can do triple monitors on this device. Now this is how it goes. So listen carefully here. So if I want to do triple monitors, I have these 3 ports. I can use these 3 Thunderbolt ports here, guys. I can do, now as far as the resolution goes, I can do 2 6K resolution at 60 hertz. I can put it in no particular order in one of these here, 2 6K at 60 hertz. And the third one here, I can stick in this Thunderbolt port, it's going to be 5K at 60 hertz. All right, so 2 6K here at 60 hertz and one 5K at 60 hertz. Now, if I do, and I believe I have this right, and if I don't, I'll let you guys know in the comments. I'll put it on the screen. I can do, now if I want to do 2 Thunderbolt ports and 1 HDMI port, I can do 2 6K here, 2 6K at 60 hertz, and the HDMI I can do, it'll be 4K at 60 hertz. So 4K at 60 hertz. So I want to do two monitors, Thunderbolt 6K each, and then going to HDMI and do 4K at 60 hertz. If it's not 60 hertz with the HDMI, it's going to be 144 hertz through the HDMI if it's not 60 hertz. Now, if you just want to do a dual monitor, which most people would just do dual monitors, then you can do up to 6K on the first one, no particular order here, up to 6K on the first one. Then the second one, you can do up to 8K or up to 4K at 240 hertz, no matter you do any one of the Thunderbolt ports or the HDMI port. All right, so if you have any confusions about that, just leave it down in the comment section below. Leave some comments down there and I'll answer any questions you have, the best of my knowledge. All right, now let's talk about the engine here. So what's under the hood? So this is rocking a 16 gigabytes RAM. It's the 256 gigabytes of storage here, guys. It has 128 bandwidth memory. So the bandwidth memory, guys, that's just basically how fast it takes for the RAM, data transfer speeds from the RAM to get to the processor, guys. All right, it's a 16 core processor CPU and also 16 core GPU processor as well, guys. So this is blazing fast and it's moving very quickly. Now, as far as games, it can play most modern games that you give it at 60 frames per second. So you don't have any problems there, guys. So this is a workhorse. This is really good. You can run multiple applications. You can play games and still surf. It can take what you give it, guys. I mean, like I said, it's a lot in this thing. It is a lot. It has a 16 core neural engine. That's going to be more for the AI and machine learning, guys, more for those processes. And this is made for Apple Intelligence, you know, and Apple Intelligence is just the AI system helping you out with writing things and making things just a little bit easier, guys. So again, this is a blazing fast machine, ready to work, ready to do that hardcore work. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about the new M4 chip. Now, this M4 chip is said to be 13 times faster than the fastest the Intel processor Mac Minis. So that's blazing fast. And I did a benchmark of the M1 compared to the M4, and that was a dramatic difference there. But now, as far as the comparison between the M4 and the M3, I didn't get any concrete information. How much faster is the M4 than the M3? You know, I had just, when I was researching, I had some websites and some sources were saying it's 5%, some were saying it's 20% faster. But as far as the neural engine, the M4 is, as far as data processing, data processes about 38 trillion operations per second as compared to the M3, which does about 18 trillion processes per second or operations per second. So it is better, guys. All right, it does have that neural engine of 128 gigabytes per second. So it is going back and forth from the RAM to the processor very quickly. Now, but as far as any concrete information, I haven't got that, how much better or faster the M4 is from the M3. I'm gonna say anywhere, and this is just an educated guess, I'm gonna say anywhere between 5 and 15% faster. But it is faster and better performance and a lot more efficient. All right, guys, real quick. So it's been a few days and I forgot to talk about the Mac Mini M4 Pro. So these are the specs. You know, if you're doing some wild gaming or you're doing some large Excel sheets and you're doing some, you know, 8K, 4K video editing, you might want to opt out for the Mac Mini M4 Pro. And the specs are, it's going to be a 12-core CPU, it's going to be a 16-core GPU, it's going to be 24 gigabytes of RAM, and it starts off at 512 SSD storage. Now that storage can go up to 8 terabytes and the RAM can go up to 64 gigabytes of RAM. And then the 12 core CPU can go up to 14 core CPU with a 16 core steel GPU. So that's moving, guys. That's extra fast. Again, it can go up to 8 terabytes of space capacity, go up to 64 gigabytes of RAM. It can go up to 14 core CPU, and it'll be the 16 core GPU. All right, so if you need a heavy hitter, then I would definitely go get the M4 Mac Mini Pro. Now, let's go ahead and talk about what I experienced, the difference between my Mac Mini M1 and my Mac Mini M4. All right, so I've already given my Mac Mini M1 away, but the thing that I really experienced that's different from the M4, the M4 is a lot better when I have multiple tabs going on my internet browsers. So I have a bunch of just tabs just open all at once, and my Mac Mini M1 would always run out of memory. It always give me a notification you're out of memory, so you got to close some tabs or go and close your entire browser out. I'm not really getting that on the M4. I can open up as many as I want. I think I've gotten like one, and I had like 40 different tabs open. All right, so it's a lot better there. Now, another feature I want to talk about is called ray tracing. So basically what ray tracing is, it's a gaming feature that basically reflects light off of different objects and shadows in a game to give it more of a immersive and realistic tone in a simulated environment. All right, so, and this is a very important option to gamers. So if you're playing games like Spider-Man, like Grand Theft Auto, different army games, you're gonna want some type of ray tracing option on to give you that more realistic feeling when you're playing. All right, so I just wanna let everybody know, and this is the first time that ray tracing has been added to any Mac Mini. So I just wanna let you guys know, especially the gamers, the Mac Mini M4 does have ray tracing. Now, as far as the specs, it's almost 2 times better when you're doing Microsoft Excel. So it's almost 2 times as better as that than the M1. Now, I did compare the M1 MacBook Air to the M4 Mac Mini. I compare as far as video rendering. I was using Shotcut. That's just it's a video editing program. It's not really that intense, but I was using that, and I did them both at the same time. And the Shotcut in my M1 MacBook Air did render the video, exported it a little bit faster, almost like 40 seconds faster. It did pretty good compared to the M4 Mac Mini. Now the comparison is a little bit different. You have an M1 MacBook Air compared to an M4 Mac Mini, so those are different. But just want to let you guys know. Now, as far as just the apps, pulling the apps up, they kind of pull up the same. All right, from what I've noticed in the M1 Mac Mini and the M1 MacBook Air, the apps kind of pull up the same. But the M4 Mac Mini is a workhorse. When I played games and I did other functions on there, it could do the same things. But the Mac Mini M4 is really good, guys. But I just want to let you know the specs of the Mac Mini M4 Pro and my personal experience, guys. The comparison between the M1 and the M4 and the M1 MacBook Air and the M4. So would I recommend this? Now, this is one of the easiest questions that I've ever asked myself. I definitely would. All right, for what you're getting, this is only $549. Now, prices are subject to change, but for what you're getting, this is an absolute steal. Now, all it comes with is just the Mac Mini and a power cord. Now, you're gonna have to add your keyboard, you're gonna have to add your accessories, speakers, you're gonna have to add your monitors. This is pretty much it. But what you're getting here is a lot. You're getting a lot of computer, guys, for your money. So I would definitely recommend this device. I would definitely recommend this device, guys. This is a very powerful computer that can hang with the top computers out there. This is probably, if not one of the best computers that you can get right now, guys. Hands down, one of the best that you can get right now. If you're doing any type of video editing, if you're doing gaming. Now, if you got some games with some hardcore graphics, Maybe not, but it can, most modern games, it'll be able to take, guys, at a good frames per second, guys. It'll be able to take that, most modern games. Also, if you're a regular user and you do minor browsing or simple operations, then this is gonna be a perfect computer for you because it can do simple operations. It can also do very complicated or complex operations, such as gaming and video editing. So guys, again, it's only $549. It's going to be an absolute steal. And I may do some subsequent videos where I show you guys how to attach some hardwares or configure the softwares. I may do that. Now, I'm sure there's going to be many questions here. Please leave all your questions down below. And if this video helped you in any way with your purchase, please leave me a like or subscribe to my channel, guys. I'll catch you guys on the next video. But until then, y'all have a great day out there.